and welcome back to the HIPAA Insider Show. I'm Adam Zenadine, and I'm going to be joined today by a special guest. Excited to be talking to him today. Before we bring him on, I'd like to invite you to subscribe, like, share on the channel, whether you're on YouTube or on Spotify or wherever you're getting your podcasts. Thank you for supporting us. It really makes the message get out there and allows us to talk to more people about HIPAA compliance in the cloud. Today, we've got an exciting topic, and we're talking about scans. And we're not talking about scans like typical X-rays or MRIs. We're talking about type of scan that look for vulnerabilities in your systems or websites or applications. And it can be confusing when there are different names for scans and different price points for them when you're looking to ensure HIPAA compliance. So I want to break it down today. And to help me break down the different types of scans for your website, I'm pleased to be joined today by our compliance manager, Henri Alfonso. Hey, Henri. Welcome back to the show. I think this is your third time on, is that right?
That's about right. I try to appear when I can to help out.
No, we're very glad to have you. So, okay, let's dive into it. So there's a couple of different main types of scans, right? There's three main types of scans, at least when it comes to what HIPAA Vault offer. Could you talk about the three main types?
Yeah, sure. So we usually provide authenticated, unauthenticated scans and also web-based scans. Those are usually what we provide as a service here at HIPAA Vault.
Okay. And then there's also, I believe, part of this is it's on our website. We offer a free scan. What's the purpose of that?
Sure. So for the free scan that we offer, it's just to provide a high-level overview of what your system may be exposing out there to the internet. So this scan scans the URL. That URL is tied to a machine, and that machine may or may not provide information for malicious actors to perform malicious things. So what we're doing is trying to show you what you're showing everyone else out there on the internet, just to give you an idea of, how we can help and what we can provide to assist you.
Okay. Yeah, and you said it may or may not show any information. If there's a firewall in place on your server, then likely it would not allow the scan to even get on the system, which I guess is a good thing for security wise. But it brings us to the next type of scan, which is a credentialed vulnerability scan. It sounds like this goes a step deeper. Is that right?
Oh, yes. So with the credentialed scan, what we do is we configure our scanner to actually, remote and log into the machine as a credentialed user. So this simulates similar to how a malicious actor would gain access to your machine, and then it scans to see, what software is installed, what version it is, any configurations that might be exploitable. The scan will let you know, since it's a full credentialed scan. So it gives you a full idea of what is exposed on your system.
Okay. So we're going from like a free URL based scan to a credentialed scan, and then a third level or the third type of scan might not even be called a scan. What do you think? So it's a web application penetration test, right?
Yeah. So for the penetration testing, that's a full blown scan with exploits being notated and provided to you for your reference. So for penetration testing, usually this request is for cybersecurity requirements. Some DoD require that. HIPAA doesn't necessarily require penetration testing, but it's a step above and beyond the normal requirements, which show that you are doing your due diligence to ensure security in your application and system. So it does go above a credential scan. It actually tries to break into your machine, break your application. It basically automates manual malicious activities and provides a report as to what you need to fix, what's wrong, and things of that nature.
Yeah, so to recap, you've got the free surface level URL scan, the credentialed scan that looks at your infrastructure, and then a penetration test that gets into the nitty-gritty of your application's code. So speaking of the different scans, Henri, I understand that you're you're able to share what one of these reports looks like once the scan is completed. Is that right?
That's correct. I have a demo here that shows a previous scan and its results that can quickly walk through just to show what it provides.
Okay. Yeah, fire away.
Sure. So this is just that auto report. Now within our scanner, we're able to configure it for different types of reports. So if you're wanting a bit more detail, or if it's too much detail, you just want a high level overview because you're technically savvy, we can tweak these reports so it just shows you what you need. But this auto report is our default reporting metric here. As you scroll down, it provides us a summary here. The summary just breaks down the vulnerabilities into critical, severe, moderate. It provides you how many of each. From there, it kind of gives you an overview of what each vulnerability represents in terms of sophistication in trying to exploit it. It breaks down, criticals are bad, moderates are not so bad, and, severes are in the middle. So you just have to kind of understand the severity of each critical or severe or moderate vulnerability.
Can I just jump in one section? Yeah. So this is the executive summary section, right?
That is correct.
So in my mind, what happens is if you're a CEO or an executive watching this or listening to it, what you're seeing here is, high level items. What typically I believe happens, Henry, but you're CISSP and on the compliance side, is the executive is not really going to go much further than this. They're going to send this off to their relevant team, someone in IT or, whatever kind of structure they've got to look in further into the details of this. Is that right?
That is correct. A lot of executives just want to know, how good are we? How bad are we? What are the numbers? And then from there, the respective teams will break down, well, this infrastructure needs this mitigation, this system needs this mitigation. So it provides a good summary for all parties, honestly.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I interrupted. Please keep going.
No, not a problem. I appreciate the questions. As I scroll down, it just breaks down the vulnerabilities more into hierarchy. So depending on the severity of the vulnerability, it'll map it to the service. So, the applications or whatever is running on the system that is aiding to that vulnerability. It'll organize it for you and provide you a nice summary. Even breaks down the ports and the services and tell you exactly, how many vulnerabilities are associated to each. From there, it breaks it down even more, and it breaks it down to host and or system. So this report here just has one host, but if there was multiple, it'll break it down by operating system, risk score, and its alias. For security purposes, I just hid the host and the alias just so it doesn't show, our naming scheme and things like that. As you scroll down,
a host is a server, is that right? Or a virtual machine?
Correct. The host would be the target you're trying to scan. So it depends on what your scan is reporting. All right. As you scroll down, it just breaks down the vulnerability more now. So it provides you what the vulnerability originates from, how to resolve it, and steps to mitigate it. So for example, this Apache vulnerability here, it breaks down what node is affected, aka your host, which is covered now for security purposes, any additional information such as where's the vulnerability located, additional references to help you, and actually the solution. So if it's pretty simple, it'll say download and upgrade. If it's a bit more technical, it might just say you have to, resolve the error or review vendor guidance and things like that if it's too obscure for the vulnerability to provide a solution. So as you scroll a bit more, it breaks it down. Again, these vulnerability reports are pretty intensive. So, usually the executive summary is enough for some, but, for people who need to put hands on and resolve the vulnerabilities, it provides enough detail to provide that solution. And again, I scroll down a bit more. It provides the host and even their port number. So if it's a vulnerability associated to a specific port, such as 8080 or 443, it provides you what the issue is, what the problem is, and how to resolve it. And I think that covers the vulnerability report. After this, it just repeats and provides you more of the same issues.
Okay. Yeah. It's very detailed, at least from my untrained eye. So is this, I guess the question would be, is this what we, term the URL scan, or is this a credentials?
So this right here is a credential scan. The URL scan will be very similar. If anything, it'll have less vulnerabilities. depending on if there's a firewall, which there should be in place. So credentials will provide way more detail, more vulnerabilities, more issues. Non-credential will provide you a high level, what's exposed publicly. So it's beneficial to have a full credential scan.
No, well, thank you very much for sharing that, Henry. It really brings the idea of a scan and what the reporting looks like to life. So it's not just a bunch of like technical jargon. There's a roadmap, so it tells you what at the high level what's wrong, and then it goes through details what those specifics are, and then how it gives recommendations on how to solve them. So it's a great sounds like a great first step to gauging the health of your site or application.
I completely agree. It's definitely recommended. Even a high level, uncredentialed scan can at least prove some insight, because sometimes security is usually forgotten when developing, and it's considered last minute. It's always bad when you consider security last minute. You should include it throughout development at each step.
Yep, definitely include it at each step. Wise words there. Well, thank you very much, Henry. And thank you for listening and watching. If you are interested in getting a scan for your site, if you have a healthcare site, reach out to us at HIPAAVault.com, and we'd be happy to get you set up with that. Well, that's it for today. Until next time, stay compliant and stay secure.